Hello, welcome. My name is Crispin Sanford. I'm very glad you decided to watch this video on getting organized. And I can understand that you wouldn't want to be overwhelmed when you go about doing it. Too often, you decide you're going to get everything organized. It may be the physical space, and all of a sudden you need that space, and there are tables and chairs everywhere, and it's not, doesn't work. And maybe you try to fix it, maybe you pull it off, maybe you don't. You try to get all your files organized or your paperwork, and you need a specific document and can't find it. I mean, that's why one of the tactics that is in my course, how to organize your business without getting overwhelmed, specifically at the right time, I point out now you need to pull specific documents you're going to need or materials you're going to need and have immediately accessible to you while you're going through part of this process, because I know how important it is that you do not lose those things. Now, ultimately, when you put in place the whole business organization machine, which is a major part of the course and what I cover, then those things are going to be in the exact right place, and they're going to be a part of that whole organized system that you put in place. But until that happens, there are some days where you've got to make sure that those things are immediately available. Now, I didn't tell you, but I am the co-founder of Proactive Business Management with Shara Sanford, and we invented the category of business organization coaching, because really, as far as I can tell, that's the only reason you haven't had more success, why you haven't had more orderly progress and dramatic growth and results. It simply comes down to that. A business organization which you don't have to get an MBA for, you don't have to work in tons of companies for, because I've done the work for you. I've made it available in this course in order to ensure you have all the things you need to be organized, to establish your business in a way that makes it more productive and ensures that it expands in a more orderly and sometimes dramatic way. Now, it's not always been about dramatic transformation for customers and clients in my life. There have been low points, and in the journey to put all these pieces together that I provide in this mastermind, things I've earned and learned, there have been some lows. I have trouble talking about this because it's not something you always want to necessarily admit to, but there was a period in my life where I was living in a motorhome on the streets of Los Angeles, Hollywood and East Hollywood. And, during that period, it was kind of rough. I lost a lot of people that I thought were friends. Other people stood up and demonstrated that they were really good friends. But it was really kind of around this period that I knew that I needed to learn, and I committed myself to the journey of learning exactly what I needed to know to establish, maintain, and build a business. Like, what are the principles of business? All businesses, any business. Like, I want to be able to go to an area, get set up, start bringing in revenue, maintain the business and expand, so that number one, I could do it and I'd always be able to do it, but also I'd be able to help other people do that too, and be able to train them and teach them in these principles that would enable them to be able to do that anywhere, anytime, with anything that they had available, or even if they were gonna kind of start with nothing. And I knew all about starting from nothing. But yeah, this was the only way I got out of that situation and didn't go further down. And believe you me, I know there were people that thought that was down, but I was going to be going further down, and probably faster rather than later. But yeah, my commitment to the mission, right? And my mission is to help you make your dream a viable reality. I have been making my dream a viable reality, and there's more to go. There's more dreams to be realized, but that's the mission. How do I enable you to make your dream, your vision for the future, your aspirations a viable reality? Well, it's in this course. It's in this mastermind. How to organize your business without getting overwhelmed. It's so important that I kind of wanted to cover some of this strategy with you here right now. Basically, one of the major steps is to establish the complete business model for a well-established, productive, and expanding organization, right? So essentially that is putting in place, especially in your thinking, but in your files, organizing all of the materials, all of the documentation, and beginning to manage your business through these files. The executive section, the administrative section, marketing, finance, production and delivery, quality control, and business development. Those are the major sections of any business, like mom and pop store, solopreneur, or large corporation. Anything in business falls within those categories, literally anything. And once you establish those sections and start making files and organizing your documentation that you currently have, it very quickly becomes evident what's missing. You know, you can find the gaps and then fill those gaps. The next important part of this strategy, now I'm going to cover these throughout the course of the mastermind, but I wanted to pull out core parts of the material I cover, a core strategy just to share with you now. Some of you might be using this in order to improve as best you can, you know, pull yourself up by your bootstraps in order to get results as soon as you can if you're not in a position to invest in the course. Obviously, I go into all of the tactics within the materials, and it's certainly a lot easier with me, with the Facebook group that I have available to you, a private group where you can ask questions and get my help. But yeah, you know, I want to kind of cover these to provide you with a pathway. The second step that I want to cover here of the strategy that I provide is documentation and delegation, right? Documenting all of the processes, procedures, and the culture that work, and ensuring that they are correctly, all the functions and those roles are correctly delegated to the individuals that are going to ensure your organization runs more smoothly than it's ever run before. Written in layman's terms, like ninth grade language, to ensure it's easy to read and execute. Next, you want to establish best practices throughout the organization, all right? Remaining true to yourself and true to your market, right? So essentially ensuring that you know, your aspirations, your goals, your dreams, those are being put in place in the context of what works, the processes, procedures, and culture that works. And also optimization throughout your organization, the complete organization. Each of those different areas, whatever processes are needed, whatever procedures need to be followed, whatever the culture is ideally in each of those major sections of your business, those need to be not only documented, but need to be optimized, need to be aligned. We need to make sure, and you need to make sure, and your team needs to make sure that everything is true to the organization's mission and goals, and true to a great experience for everyone, the team and your customers and clients. The next step essentially is, you know, we talked about, you know, filling in the gaps, but the next step is to make preparations to level up, right? To level up your business and ultimately scale up your business. That can only occur when you've ensured that your business at its current size and capacity is completely documented, totally optimized, running smoothly, because now it's going to be strong enough and you know exactly what needs to be done, and you're going to be able to afford to pay for the investments in staff, training, equipment, whatever materials are going to be needed, a boost in your business development campaigns and your client marketing campaigns, so that when you're ready and you launch and you pull that trigger, everybody's there in place, all of the advertising budget's there and in place, and you launch, and then boom. Because you know exactly what to do, because you have all of the technical staff and administrative staff in place, and the budget and the exact campaigns, targeted marketing, targeted business development, you're going to bring those people in, bring those new customers and clients in, serve them to the highest degree, and you're going to keep them. And that means you can double production smoothly because you've done all the work necessary to do that. So those are key parts of the strategy. You can follow that basic strategy to ensure your business is well established, productive, and expanding. But if you want all the details, all the tactics, buy this Mastermind right now, and we will get started and do everything necessary to ensure that you're able to grow your business, better establish your business, and better organize your business without getting overwhelmed. Now, why should you do it? Now, I believe that wealth and success should be mechanical, right? If you do the work, you get the results. And Edwards Deming, a king, legend of optimization, his quote is this. I'm reading his quote right here. He says, "It is not enough to do your best. You must know what to do, then do your best." This Mastermind helps you, it provides you with procedures to follow, processes to follow, to ensure that you, in your business, know exactly what you need to do in order to succeed, so that when you do the work, you do get the results. That's really why you should get the course, because I provide you with everything you need in order to do that. So yeah, it's you that needs to make this investment. This is not about me, right? I went through a great deal of research. I suffered the tortures of the damned, but I was committed to my mission, and nothing and nobody could sway me, right? But this is not about me knowing this or learning this. This is about you making the investment so that you can get all these principles too. You don't have to go through all this suffering. And I had a lot of free time now, to address this. And I mean, during that period, I know I worked with a client in 2003. They gave me $4,500 as a consultant to help them with their business. They doubled their income after a couple of months. They were already running at double the income, and I was able to get those results. But there's more to business. There's more to know about marketing and business development, to bring more clients in, to continually have a stream of clients coming in. That's a part of what you need to know and need to establish and ensure is smooth and operating at optimum. But it's not about me knowing these things or how great I might be. It's not about that at all. And it's also not about how, I'm better than you, but I was probably lower than you were, if not, much lower than most people. But it did give me the time to think these things through, to practice them, to test them. And I worked at a marketing firm, going from entry-level job, entry-level position, quickly to director, business development, and up once I doubled income over the course of 2 years in business development, I was promoted to vice president, right? Because I applied these principles and knew exactly what needed to be done in an orderly fashion. We're not talking about get rich quick. We're talking about building the machine, putting the machine in place, putting the best practices in place in order to result in success, right? But I done the work to provide you with a template, to provide you with this model, this complete business model that when you put in place and start to organize in accordance with that structure, and there's a lot more tools you're going to learn, then you're going to be able to pull off your success. You're going to understand the levers of business and be able to ensure that you get those plates up, get them spinning, maintain them spinning, turn it over to somebody else to spin, a whole team that keep on maintaining those plates and keeping those plates in the air and keeping them spinning. So now, it's important. This is difficult for people sometimes to see. I noticed. I spent 5.5 years, I was just mentioning, at this marketing firm, and I called 20 to 120 people every single day. And I would show them marketing strategies. And as I was developing materials, I got to a better place where I was better able to sell and close people. But I would run into all the time in the process of learning before I had it all down, that I would present to people different strategies to grow their business, and I would show it with their numbers, their experience. I would get their agreement all the way along the way of putting together this strategy. And then I would show them numbers and very quickly show them how they could double their income, double their business. And they believed me, right? They said, this makes total sense. But there was a reluctance. And their reluctance was that it was a lot of work. And they would even literally say that. They would be like, yeah, this sounds great. You know, wow, that's, yeah, I can see how that would work. But it's a lot of work. And I'd be like, are you kidding me? Yes, it requires work. But the fact is, it is work that you can do to get a result. And ultimately, you're going to be delegating these responsibilities, delegating these roles. So once the work is done, you know, first year, and definitely, you know, we're looking into the second year, you know, a lot of this stuff's being done by other people, and you get to focus on the innovation, on some of the bigger sales, major sales, presentations. You know, there's still going to be a place for you. Ultimately, we want to make the whole business a legacy for you that you can step away from, move into other areas, social, you know, social betterment programs or other businesses that you aspire to create. And we cover all of that inside this mastermind. But it is going to be work for sure. Now, I can tell you, you know, clients have given me raving reviews. One of my clients, I'd worked, you know, when I was building up, after I'd moved on from the motorhome, and putting more practice into these principles, I worked for a very successful, very capable talent manager in Hollywood. And I remember organizing her space. There was a woman would come in quite regularly, usually earlier in the day, and they would talk about industry stories. They would exchange banter. She was clearly very well connected, very affluent, very obviously had some substance, and they were good friends. And she came in. And I don't think she really even noticed me when she first came in. But then I'd spent some time getting this particular. It was actually the owner of the talent management firm. Getting all of the different things organized, the different projects, got everything streamlined and set up properly. And I remember, I would never forget, the woman came in, and again, she swept right by, and she went into the office, and I could hear her talking and telling stories. And all of a sudden, I could see her, all of a sudden she stopped. And she looked around, and she was, you know, because it was completely organized. I mean, seriously. And then she turned around, boom, and connected, laser, eye to eyes lock, laser locked on my eyes. And then I had made a change. I had brought order into her space and into her offices. And I mean, that's just that was just a taste of all the things that I could do. But she knew that I had been responsible for it. That was a powerful moment for me. I was like, wow, that's recognition. So I know what I'm doing, and that's somebody who's had success. I don't want to share the name because, you know, it's, but nevertheless, you know, I can share you names. I know Russ Golfini, one of my clients, super pleased with going through the materials of this mastermind. And he just posted saying how my business, after going through my workshop, his business, he was now working on it, and he was no longer working in the business, that he had transformed and transitioned finally to being able to be a real business owner, working on his business, not stuck in it. Another client, Paris Nade, who gave me, you know, I've always gotten a 5-star review from clients, but she said it was a truly customized service. Even though this is recorded, you're going to be in my group, but you're going to see how it really is tailored and does narrow down and helps you personally for your business. But she would talk about, you know, and credited me with changing not only her business, but changing her life dramatically. And she was really proud of the work that she was able to accomplish after doing my workshop. I know that I worked with a client I mentioned earlier who had doubled revenue after just 2 months. I worked with them. I think it was probably about 6 weeks that we worked together, and then they were boom, doubled income, steady. So, you know, I've had a lot of success with a lot of people, and let's see, I mean, it was, that's good. So now I just want to make sure you know, I really want to make sure that I impart. I know this is probably a longer trailer than many others might be providing, but I really wanted to cover a substantial amount of ground after you've showed your interest, if you haven't already purchased already. But I just want you to know that it's not your fault that you have not achieved the vision that you aspire to achieve. It's not your fault that your business is not exactly running the way you want to. nobody teaches you these things. I went to business school in England. I went to business school in Los Angeles. I worked at a consulting firm. And I know for a fact that a lot of the work you actually have to do and execute to be in a position to get to ensure that you have a well-established, productive and expanding business. That all of the technical processes that need to be done just so, and the procedures, the administrative procedures that we run just so, and the culture that you need to create and impart in a way that it brings all the nuances that you personally have and understand to bear for all of the staff and the team to execute. That getting into that position requires learning. I don't know anyone else who's going to teach you this stuff. I'm going to teach you this stuff in this workshop, right? But it's so important that because as soon as I teach people this stuff, they rock it, they launch. One of my clients, a 5-star review. I'm just saying that as a fact, not just to be brag or anything like that. I want you to know that that's the quality of work, that's the quality of gain that you're going to be getting. But yeah, I got a 5-star review, and he was saying, a lot of what he got, and this was early on in the process, wasn't changing what he was doing per se, wasn't inventing new stuff per se. It was ensuring that what he knew he needed to do, what worked and what was optimum, was put in place. Part of it is getting what you know already, what you know needs to be done in place and done consistently. And it blew his mind, and then in place of all of these tools and these steps and these procedures, they're all about enabling you to have and build the business that you dream of. So yeah, it's not your fault. You didn't have the tools, but now you have an opportunity to get them. And it's your responsibility to make the investment necessary to ensure that you can now achieve the aspirations you've set for yourself. I encourage you to invest now. It includes a membership, as I mentioned, in a private Facebook group where I'll be there, where questions will be answered. The community can serve each other, of course, but ideally I'm providing information. I've got videos and unit training in there, also demonstrations and going through different ways to apply the tool and just show you how to apply the tools and examples of using the tools. Really to make sure that we're there and build a community of support. So yeah, that's it. Now the only question is, what do you say when I say get after it? What do you say when I say let's do this? Sign up now and finally ensure that you can organize your business without getting overwhelmed. All right, that's it from me. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation. Mini presentation inside of a trailer. Those principles are going to serve you well, but get the tactics too. Actually get the tactics and get the assistance and the help to get all the way to where you want to go. All right, that's it for me. See you in the class. Sign up now. Quick, click the button. Join the group, say hello. We look forward to seeing you. Bye-bye.